Welcome to the Evolve Beyond Limits podcast. I'm your host, Stacy. This podcast is dedicated to helping you create a life that sets your soul on fire. I believe that is truly possible for everybody, but you have to be willing to do a few things. You have to be willing to let go of your past conditioning. You have to be willing to break free from societal norms. And you have to be willing to get really curious about your life and how you can start to look at it differently. Each week, we will hear stories from people who have done exactly this. People who chose to disrupt the life path they were on, go against the grain, and share the lessons and perspective shifts they had to make along the way. Every episode is committed to not only inspiring you and connecting you with other amazing humans, but actually giving you the tools you need to use this information in your own life so that you continue to evolve and reconnect with your highest self. Are you ready? Let's have some fun. Welcome back to this week's solo episode of the Evolve Beyond Limits podcast. And I am actually joining you from the beautiful up north Michigan, Harbor Springs. So welcome to the Harbor Springs Park. But today I want to talk about not holding on to your plans too tightly. And I actually put this quote onto Instagram. And it is that you don't have to push and control your life for it to turn out the way you want. You could surrender to it and let it turn out better than you could have imagined. So why I want to talk about this is because we have to understand that our need and our want to control everything in our life comes from fear. It is a nicely camouflaged way, but it still comes from fear. And I literally spent most of my life living from this place. And I truly believe that I missed out a lot. I missed out on a lot. I missed out on any type of spontaneity. I missed out on because I was so structured. I was so rigid. There was no time, right? The only, if I had a plan, we had to stick to the plan. And if we were supposed to be somewhere at a certain time, even if there was really no reason, then we weren't making any unnecessary stops because we had a plan. And I truly believe, and this is why I'm sharing this, that I missed out on so many things in my life, so many beautiful moments, and I'm not going to beat myself up because that doesn't do me any good. But now that I know better, I can do better. But I truly believe that these moments in our life that mean the most to us, and the memories, the great memories that are made, happen when we're not looking for it. They don't happen when we're trying to control it. They happen when we're not looking for it at all. And when we surrender to what's going on. Right? So and for me, it was a lot of my ego saying that my way was the best way, which maybe it's not. Maybe your way isn't the best way. Right. And I've actually been thinking about our travels, and a lot of the moments, most of the moments that we remember the most are the ones that we didn't plan for. Right. And just a perfect example of this is the fact that we was on this trip. We went to some place called, after golf, we decided to go to a Harvest Host, and it was this brewery. And quite honestly, the whole reason I wanted to go there was because there was a coffee shop next to it that I really wanted to check out the next morning, Sunday morning. And we stayed there, met this gentleman named Mark. He was opening up a brewery in 3 weeks. And we woke up in the morning and the coffee shop was closed. So I was bummed, right? But again, there was a reason that we were pulled to this place. And so we were sitting there and we decided to go and just thank the owner because he had come back because he was working on the brewery. And he, offered us the opportunity to try the brand new beers that he had brewed that he had no customers have been there yet, have been able to try these things. So he gave us each a beer and he said, "Where are you guys headed?" And we were like, "Well, these were our thoughts." And he's like, "Well, I would recommend this. If you want, I'll write you out directions, but there's this beautiful thing that you could do." And so he did. He wrote us out all these directions, and we decided that we weren't going to hold on to our plans too tightly. Right. And we actually decided this a long time ago was that because we have realized that every time we let go and just surrender to life, beautiful things happen. And we couldn't see him coming. So we sat there, we heard this gentleman's story. And some of the best things that I love about traveling is the people that we get to meet. So we took off from there and we ended up stopping at this place called, we went through, first of all, this M119, which if you ever come to Michigan to go through the tunnel of trees, especially if you can do it in the fall. I mean, we did it in the summer and it was beautiful, but the drive is along the coast of Lake Michigan and it is just unreal. But we ended up stopping at another place called Pond Hill Farms and it was a little brewery, a little winery. And then we decided to go on this. It was the cutest place. But then we decided to go and we found this gnome hunt. Yes, you heard me correctly. We went gnome hunting. So, like, the little things that are in gardens. And we ended up walking probably a couple miles searching for gnomes, allowing our inner child to just truly become unlocked in those moments. This was definitely something for kids. I mean, I think. But we had the best time, just Andrew and I, gnome hunting. We appreciating the little things in life, the little things that this farm had put together. And after that, we ended up on this beautiful beach at Wilderness State Park up in Michigan, and we spent a couple hours just playing in the water, letting the dogs run. It was just such a beautiful thing. And then we ended up that wasn't the plan, right? Like that wasn't the plan at all. And we ended up at this campground and we just happened to be able to get there was one spot left directly on the water. And so we booked it and we show up and granted, Andrew did park in the wrong spot and it ended up being a handicap spot. Which is why it was such an amazing spot. But to be fair, we parked in the wrong spot and we didn't take anybody else's spot. So just know that we weren't like, we didn't kick somebody out in order to have that spot. But we got to watch the most magnificent sunset. And looking back on that day and just those moments, because as I'm sitting here in our original destination a day later than we thought. And I tell you that because I will never forget that day. But there's no way that it would have unfolded like that if we would have been so rigidly stuck on the original plan that we had. If we wouldn't have had the opportunity to just surrender to what life was literally handing us an opportunity. But if we were so stuck in our way being the best way, then we would have completely missed that opportunity. But instead, we had a day that just filled with memories that we will never forget. Right? So you never know what you might miss out on by trying to control every single thing in your life. And that's what I want to get across is that life has this like it's funny because my mom always says to me, like, you're so lucky. Like we're lucky that we grasped this last spot in this place. We're lucky, like maybe part of it's luck, but I believe a lot of it's karma. Like we get back what we put out into the world. And I genuinely believe that good things are going to happen and life is going to unfold in a beautiful way. And because of that, life tends to do that for us. So I just want you to think about that. And the journal prompt that I want to give you this week and what I really want you to start to look at is what is one area of your life that you're trying to push and trying to control? And then dig a little deeper and ask yourself, what are you truly afraid of? Because life doesn't have to be as hard as we actually make it. So I want you to hold on to that this week. Let me know your thoughts. And I am just sending you so much love, so much light. If you can, please send this episode to somebody who you think could use it, and take a second to rate and review the podcast. It truly means the world. So until next week, keep evolving.